Welcome to the Short Rod Show. You're talking with Ben.
And you got Brett.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. We are on Season 3, Episode 3. Rolling right along. As Brett says, cranking out episodes every week through the Ice Belt.
Yep, Sunday at 9.
Yep, all over the internet.
Yep, all over the internet.
But yeah, today we have a very special episode. We have a special guest on the line with us.
Yep.
Someone we've been wanting to bring on the show for quite some time. You probably recognize him from a little bit small Facebook group. Obviously, I'm just joking. It's a huge Facebook group of ice fishing aficionados, like-minded people like us. This gentleman's group meshes right along with the Short Rod Show fans.
Yep.
We're all about the same mission of promoting the sport. So we have on the line with us Mr. Jesse Willick of the Ice-aholics Facebook group. Jesse, welcome aboard.
How's it going, guys? Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad you found time to hop on with us here. I guess a little bit, just kind of introduce yourself, kind of how you got your why. Well, I think a good question would be just what spurred you to even start a Facebook group in the first place, and how you came across the name Ice-aholics.
For sure. So my name's Jesse Willick. I'm the founder of the Ice-aholics page on Facebook. We have an Instagram page as well, not as active on there. But anyway, about 3 years ago, sitting around, honestly, kind of got into ice fishing a little heavier around then. So looking around on groups and this and that. And I'll be honest, me and my buddies, we just got sick of being on some of the groups with the negativity, I guess you could say. So we just were having a couple beers one night, and I said, hey, why don't we just start our own group then? And to be honest, when we started it, it was just going to be for, friends and family that fish. And if, we got a couple other members, it was a bonus. So we were shooting ideas around, and I'm not very techie. So actually, I talked to a buddy of mine, Daryl Taylor. He's on the page as well, but I asked him if he could start the page for me, and he did. And all we did, the couple of us, we just sent out friend requests or invites for the page. And I remember when we hit our first 100 people, that we were going nuts. It was like, oh my God,
that's a huge deal, yeah.
And it is, and even that took a few weeks, and we couldn't believe it, right? But yeah, and again, it was just supposed to be a small little group for us to all get along on and share ideas and stories or pictures or outings without the negativity. And again, if people had questions, then not to be afraid to ask those questions, especially if they're a new angler, right?
Yep.
I know a lot of the pages, and not to necessarily bash anyone in particular, but a lot of the pages, you ask a question and you got more guys jumping down your throat than you do trying to help you out. And we were just kind of sick of that. So that was the whole meaning behind the page.
So do you have to weed through a lot of that? Or is that behind you, deleting those, or have you done a good job, you think, of, I don't know, generating a culture on that page that folks just don't generally do that as much as other pages?
So I'll be honest, in the beginning, we definitely did a lot of weeding through. We started the page off as a public group.
Yep.
So basically anyone could just join. We didn't have, questions you had to answer or nothing. We just wanted to grow it a little bit. So, and I didn't know a lot about it, running a page back then either. So yes, back then we did a lot of weeding through, and we started to slowly realize that there's some people out there that just want to join the page to post things not related to the topic of your page.
Oh, yeah.
There's a little bit of that going on Facebook, yeah.
Right? And it got a little ridiculous, so we made the choice. We said, let's make it a private group. We knew it was going to slow traffic down a little bit because it's harder for people to find.
Yep.
But we were okay with that because, again, it wasn't about the numbers to us. And even today, it's not. We're so thankful for everyone, every member that is on the page. We're over 22,000 now.
Man.
And we appreciate every single person on the page. And I will say now, I think we've built a reputation of having the page run so cleanly that people actually respect that. We get messages all the time thanking us for, dealing with a situation so quickly, or removing negative content off the page, or just not allowing anything negative to go on, period.
Yep.
So I think now after running it so cleanly for so long, we do have a solid group of guys on there and girls. Sorry, but yeah, in the beginning, it was a lot of work to try and keep it on the straight path, right?
Nice. So when would you say you guys really felt like you caught traction, and when you were sat to yourself and you looked at Facebook and you're like, holy crap, this is going nuts? When would you say that point was, or was there that point?
Oh, for sure. That point definitely came across. Again, the first year, it was growing slowly. We've seen that it had a bit of traction. And again, back then we were getting, I'll be honest with you, when it was smaller, it was nice because it was almost personable, right? I've met a ton of people running the page, and I'm friends with them today, and they're all over the U.S., all over Canada. It's kind of crazy to sit there and see where everybody is from.
Yep.
I'm sure you guys, do the same thing with your listeners, and you can see where they're listening from. It's a crazy thing to see, but where the traction really started to take off, I would say, is last year, last winter, and leading up to it, the page just blew up. I think we got over 10,000 members over the whole season, and that was just crazy. We grinded for to grow the page up until then, and now it's sort of every season is kind of just steady now. It's constant people trying to join the page.
Well, yeah, that's a heck of a lot of work just to accept 10,000 people into your page in the first place. Holy crap.
It's a full-time job you got on your hands there in addition to a full-time job.
Yeah, geez.
It is. And honestly, and not too many people probably know this, but we have questions on there, and a lot of pages do.
Yep.
But we encourage people, if there's anyone listening and they want to join the page, we just ask that you answer the questions because it helps. We have a small team that helps me out, my wife and a couple buddies that help me run the page. But we ask the questions because it eliminates those unwanted, right? And it's a lot easier and quicker for us to go through. And if you answer the questions properly, we'll get you in the group a lot sooner.
Yeah. And it's I bet it's not even people. It's just spam, isn't it, that are trying to get in?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why we have the questions, because they don't seem to answer them.
Yep.
So we know right away, and we just go, okay, next.
Yep. Makes sense. So Jesse, I'm hearing a little bit of an accent. Are you from Wisconsin, maybe? Can you let the listeners know where
I
you're
guess
from?
I didn't introduce where you were at.
Yeah, I'm up in Ontario, Canada. I'm actually just 45 minutes outside of Toronto, Ontario.
Nice. So what was cool to Brett and I is getting to talk to you and just kind of chatting through the different ways ice fishing is. It brings people together, of course. You got people down in the U.S. here. We're in like the southern portion of the ice belt, places that you can ice fish consistently, and then you're on the opposite end of the spectrum. You're
right
up there.
In the meat.
Geez, you probably were ice fishing this morning. You just haven't told us yet.
I wish.
So that's really
crazy.
cool. Yeah.
No, it's crazy. Like I said, it's and a lot of our audience is in the States. And you're right. It does. The sport just brings so many people together, right? And when you have a bunch of like-minded people, it's just nice. Everyone gets along, shares ideas, and I think that's what I like about the page. We don't necessarily have a topic, for example, that we want to run with. For example, like a trick your trap page, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Great page, to be honest with you. It's pretty well ran, and it's all about tricking out your trap. For us,
I would let you know that trap means ice shelter.
Yeah, I was so confused at
If
first.
somebody doesn't know that.
Yes. But for us, it's sort of like any and everything. We have people that try to sell stuff on the page, and I kind of let it go. I don't really want the page to be a sales page.
And that'll take over quick if it gets traction.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest with you, and I let some of them go just because, again, it's almost every day. But like we had a guy trying to sell a truck cap on there a couple weeks ago.
Oh, geez.
And I was just like, what's going on? Like, but we welcome everything, right? Stories, pictures of outings. If you take your kids out, share that. If you do have a good idea for something you've done and you've already shared it on another page, feel free to share it on the page as well. There's some people that are on our group that may not be on those other groups, right? And as you guys know, and everyone knows, the sport is just blowing up the past 2 years. I think fishing in general, any outdoor activity, because of what's going on. And there's a lot of people that are just getting into it, or maybe younger kids who finally have some money now to go and get a trap and want to trick it out because they've seen other people do it, right?
Yep.
And maybe the question's been answered before, but there's nothing wrong. Maybe they don't want to scroll back 2 years and see what the answer was back then, right? So,
Definitely.
So yeah, we encourage everything. Just share whatever you feel like on the page, and I'm sure someone on there will appreciate it.
Yeah, and I know that was kind of my experience the first time seeing your page, Jesse, was just the amount of cool stuff, like cool ideas. There's shelter-related stuff. There's organization ideas, different ways of setting up tackle, like different snow machines, and this guy's quad set up this way, and this guy, built this cool auger carrier, and then just pictures of fish, like guys fishing up in the mountains and all over Minnesota, Wisconsin, like just cool stuff. That's what really drew me into it, where I was looking to set up some of my gear and just get ideas. And that was, your page was spot on you can scroll through in a matter of 5 minutes and get, pretty much ideas on everything that you want to do that ice season.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. And again, that's what I like about it the most too, is there is that variety, right? It's not just based on one thing. And like you said, it wouldn't take you long to scroll through, and you don't have to go that far back, and there's going to be something that you'll enjoy or take from the page to benefit you for sure.
Definitely. Well, Ben, do you have anything else to ask Facebook related, or do we want to start diving into some fish stuff?
I was going to say we could take a little quick break and
dive into some fish things.
Dive into some fish stuff. For those of you that are anxiously awaiting the giveaway, that's going to be at the end. We're going to make you wait.
Yep. Yeah.
We all powwowed and figured that out.
Picked it up on Facebook. We teamed up with Jesse, Ice-aholics. We got fishing reel and a float jacket to give away here at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
So stay tuned.
Awesome. We'll be right back, guys.
Ben, where have you been? We've got a short rod show episode to drop here in a half an hour.
Ah, shoot. I've been outside blowing snow in my driveway for the last hour. Jeez, give me a break, Brett.
Man, you just got to hire that out.
I don't know. Like, how would I find someone that could do it?
I don't know. I just look up on Google.
Yeah, that could work, but how do I know they're any good?
All I know is that the best companies use Evergrow Marketing to show up on Google.
Yeah, that's a good point. I know Evergrow Marketing is a digital marketing agency that provides straightforward solutions for local service businesses.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
Well, Brett, it means if your business relies on leads and inquiries from your surrounding area, they'll take care of your website, make sure you're showing up on search engines like Google, and make your phone ring with new business. They've worked with landscaping and lawn care companies, roofing contractors, car dealers, hospitals, banks and credit unions, and more. If you own or work for a business that could use a little help with the digital side of your marketing, check them out over at evergrowmarketing.com.
Also, tell them that Ben and Brett over at the Short Rod Show sent you, and they'll knock 10% off your first bill.
You know, Brett, I was poking around on Facebook the other day, and I could just not find the Short Rod Show. What's the deal?
Oh, you just got to punch us in on Google.
What do you mean? We show up on Google already?
Oh, yeah. The Evergrow team hooked us up.
Holy cow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good deal. I'll try that now.
Yeah, right. You just punch in Short Rod Show, and we'll come up on our website, shortrodshow.com. It'll come up on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
Awesome. So people can find us all over now.
Yeah, all over the internet.
That's great. We're also on Instagram, too. I've been trying to keep up with that. Posting some cool pictures. When we're out on the ice, you can check us out there, too.
Yeah, sweet updates.
Awesome. Check us out, guys. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us through the break. If you missed the beginning of the show, we're talking with the Ice-aholics Facebook group founder, Mr. Jesse Willick himself. We're talking Facebook topics, and now we're going to dive into a little bit about ice fishing.
Yeah, some actual fishing stuff.
Once and for all.
You can only talk about social media for so long before we actually need to talk about something that is real.
Yep.
So, Jesse, I guess for me, what I'm most curious about, so as someone that I frankly have not really traveled much to go ice fishing. Iowa, within those borders. Last year we went up to Minnesota. That is about my extent of travel for ice fishing. So if I were to come up to Toronto and go fishing, what are maybe the top couple things that you would suggest to someone that's traveling up out of state or out of country that need to know about fishing in your area?
For sure. maybe I'll touch on a couple lakes that I'd recommend, and then I'll try to touch on some gear.
Make sure
I'm
they're
by
big
no
lakes if
means-
you're going to recommend a lake.
Of course.
Yep.
No, of course. I'm by no means an expert at all. I'm still learning like everybody else, but
Yep.
I'll do my best. So yeah, no, if you were to come up for sure, I think everyone's heard of it, but we're not far from Lake Simcoe.
Yeah.
It's pretty much perch capital.
Yeah.
I don't know how many Americans come up and fish just for the perch alone. But not only that, it's very well known for Lakers as well as whitefish.
Ooh.
I have yet to catch a Laker on there. I've gone out a few times and tried. I don't know too much about fishing for them out there. There's some guys up here that they can't go out and not catch them. There's some very good fishermen up here. A couple buddies of mine, we went out whitefish fishing last year, and we did pretty good. We had a pretty good day. We rented a hut. But yeah, I would definitely recommend coming up to Lake Simcoe. Obviously, perch gear, everyone knows, medium light rod, perch, your typical perch tackle. There's nothing special up here. We have a couple of local guys that have tackle that works quite well. Actually, a buddy of mine, True North Base, he just started off his company, Jamie, and his wife actually. He's making some pretty killer plastics that are have been tested out recently, and they're doing some damage on quite a few bodies of water up here.
Yeah, that's
So I
interesting you
recommend-
mentioned that, because I've gotten several ads on Facebook about True North stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, he's really blowing up actually.
Yeah.
And huge congrats to him. I think he just started it maybe 2 years ago, and this past 6 months he's just really blowing up.
So is it a
huge
fish,
congrats to him, honestly.
to go down a little bit of rabbit hole there? Is it like a fish attractant, like an oil that he's putting on these plastics, or is it like some serious action that he's getting out of those plastics?
I think so. What he's doing, he's actually making custom baits. He's not just buying a mold and
Yeah.
just pouring them and putting them out there like everyone else is. He's designing these baits, and what he's doing is basically like a match the hatch type of deal.
Yep.
I believe he has this new one out, the Mayfly, and he came up with it. But I guess he was on Simcoe last year, and he was catching a bunch of jumbo perch, and got him in the boat, obviously keeping a few for dinner. And he looked in his live well, and they were spitting a bunch of mayflies up, and he went, maybe we should look into that.
Oh yeah.
So I believe, and don't quote me, I believe this is what happened though. So he went home, put the pen to the paper, and came up with a design, and I believe he had someone make up the mold for him, and it's a really hot bait up here, and I believe it's going to be killer for ice season this year.
So when we're
He's
talking,
got some other stuff as well, but that one has me very intrigued.
wow, see, that's cool. The true custom bait guys, you don't see that very often. I mean, yeah, people think they're custom baits and stuff, but if you're actually, 3D printing a mold to cast out of whatever aluminum or whatever you cast them out of, that's some cool stuff. But so when you talk about these jumbo perch, how jumbo are we talking? Are you like measuring them in kilograms, or can you convert that to pounds for us, or inches?
I still go by pounds and inches. So
Good man, true American.
No, if you get into them, you can really get into them on Simcoe. You can get 12, 13, 14 inches, and I mean, and that's not uncommon.
And they're fat. They're not. I mean, you can catch 14 inches here, but they're not footballs.
Mm-hmm.
From what I've seen
That's
on
cool.
Simcoe.
Yeah, this is the thing. They're fat too. But yeah, that's definitely not uncommon.
Dang.
And not only that, the numbers. If you really put your time in and you find them, you can get some big numbers.
So is there something, I guess maybe if you fished around perch fished other lakes for perch, is there anything unique, I guess, about Simcoe that you would say that you're using for perch?
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's some local guys that have, their odd trick or something up their sleeve, because there's definitely guys that do better than others. I personally just go out and I try to just find the pattern for that day, and then I'll just stick with it. And
Yep.
you guys know as well that I do. Fish change every day.
Yep.
You could go out one day and throw a plastic on the jig, and the next day they want the spoon, right?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I have people ask me all the time, what's the secret, when you're always catching fish and stuff like that. I was like, the real secret is you just move until you find them. You just keep looking. You just
Right.
don't stop looking.
Yep. And then find something they like to eat
Yeah.
and present that to
Well,
them.
I'm more
in
of
the
a
right
believer
way.
that you can just get it in front of their face. One of them will bite it.
Yep.
The nice thing with perch though too is that they're not as much like crappie. If you find them and you get on them, they'll come and go in waves on there.
Yeah.
I find. So you might get a hot bite in the morning and it might die off a bit, but they'll come back. It's not like you got to go chase them down like crappie. I find,
Yeah.
and I'm sure some guys do that, but I personally am a huge gearhead, so I like to go out, find a spot, get set up, and kind of stay in place. I
okay.
got too much gear to drag around. That's
Wow,
me
you're a
personally.
big gearhead then.
Yeah, I didn't realize you were
I'm
going
impressed.
that direction, but yeah. So, I know you put together a quad for this year. Break down that a little bit. The build, the thought, I guess the functionality of it, why you felt like maybe a quad was the best option for you out there.
For sure. Long time coming. I've wanted some wheels for the ice for a long time. And where I live, it doesn't make sense to have a sled. We don't get a ton of snow in our area. I mean, we get dumped on periodically, but living in the city, you got to drive quite north, even just to ride it.
Yep.
So it just, for me, it didn't make sense. It's just sort of one purpose at that point. And I know they are better on the ice and stuff, but I just want a quad so I could use it year round. And to be honest, I widened my driveway last year, and I'm definitely putting a plow on it, so that's going to help there too.
Ooh, nice.
Do a purpose.
That was a big deciding factor. But yeah, no. To be honest, I went with the CF Moto, and a lot of people were like, "What are you doing? You're crazy." But I did my research. A lot of people have some negative things to say. Other guys who run them love them. It has a great warranty. And to be honest, we had when I was looking, we had no stock up here for anything.
Yeah.
I was looking at all the other brands, and no one had anything. So I found this one. It checked everything off the wish list that I was looking for, and at a fair price. So
what were a few of the wish list? What, 4-wheel drive, extra power?
I only got a 400. It's
Okay.
nothing crazy.
Yeah, nice.
It's more than
Solid.
enough. I'm not a big guy, so it'll more than get me around. But
Well, we run a
just
125 for both of us,
automatic.
so it's not a big deal.
That's huge.
Sorry, what was that? Sorry.
Say we run a 125 and we both sit on it, so I mean a 400's monster compared to what we run.
Yeah, I again, it was their smallest one they had. I really wasn't in it for speed. I'm not one to go mudding or something like that. It was mainly just I'm just sick of hauling my gear out. Like I said, I bring a lot of gear, and
Yep.
on the way home or on the way out, it's not so bad. But on the way home, especially if I had a bad day, I dread that walk every time.
Oh yeah, especially if you're walking out on Simcoe.
So-
Holy crap.
Yeah, some of the lakes we go to, it's a bit of a journey.
Yeah. So do you not
So-
get to a
so
point where
that's
you're
why.
running your truck out there?
Or
you just don't like
so
to?
much. Not so. I find up here the ice is very inconsistent on a lot of lakes. If
Okay.
you go quite a few hours up north, you might get away with that. But the weather's up and down so much, and a lot of lakes I fish, you could go out one day and I fish the Bay of Quinte a lot, and we go. I've been on that lake on 4 inches early ice, and a month and a half later, there's still only 8 inches, and then there's days in between where it'll drop back down to 4. There's a lot of current in that lake.
Yep.
So you really got to be careful. You got to know what you're doing to go out there for sure. I have a buddy of mine that lives out there, so thankfully he checks the ice before I make the trip out there. But yeah, a lot of the lakes I fish, they don't get thick enough
Yep.
to run a truck out.
See,
And
that's
why we
a
don't
hot
have
tip
a lot of,
because I would have went to Ontario thinking I could just drive wherever I wanted.
Yeah, I know it's not like that. Again, if you go way up north, for
Yep.
sure, yeah. But down here, it's not like that.
So Jesse, you talked about is this is your first season coming up that you have wheels, or you had this last year?
Nope, first season for me.
Ooh.
Just picked it up,
So
yeah.
so
it's
did you
big.
did you have
Just
to
picked
talk
it up
the
about
wife?
a month and a half ago?
Did you have to talk the wife into getting a trailer to haul this, or what's your setup looking like heading up to the lake with all this
Yeah,
gear.
'cause that's what something Ben has taken a lot of pride in getting everything to fit in the back of his long bed pickup.
Well, luckily for me, I own a contracting company, so I already had a trailer.
Yeah,
Sweet.
tax
So
write-off.
that's a bonus, right? Yep. And if I use the quad on a couple jobs, we'll see what we can get away with there too.
Ooh, yeah.
But,
Yeah, you got to level some job sites out with some dirt on
Yep.
that plow. There you go.
That's right. But yeah, no. So that's gonna be bonus for sure. Both my wife and I have pickup trucks, so it fits both in the back of the truck. But again, once you get your sled and your hut and all your gear, I run a pop-up, right? So I bring in that additional sled with me to haul everything out. So that's why the trailer is almost key. There's no room for the bike and all your gear.
See, I thought you guys called them toboggans up there.
That's a little north where they stay in the igloo.
That's awesome.
So, but I'm really pumped, honestly. Yeah, and I sorry not to cut you off. Yeah, no, I'm honestly really pumped about it though, and I did some mods. I put an auger rack on it, and I got another a graph for it just so I can run some mapping while I'm out there.
Yes.
Hopefully, cut down on finding my key spot.
So 2 questions for you on both of those comments. One is, do you have any DIY like home mods that you did versus just buying the auger rack or whatever? And then 2, what graph do you got put on there?
Yeah, so the auger mounts, to be honest, they're just Copelands, however you say it, excuse me. Those are pretty generic, just bolt on.
Yep.
And then I got a Helix 7 Gen 3 for it. But that I had to mod. I was trying to run it on a ram mount, and it just didn't work out. Just where I wanted to put it with the steering, the bars kept hitting the unit. So I basically had to modify a ram mount. I cut the ball right off. I used the mounting plate. I bolted it right to the front rack, and instead of hardwiring it in, I like to use my units on my boat as well in the summertime, just so they're not sitting around.
For sure.
So instead of hardwiring it right in, I just hooked it up to a 12 volt. There's a 12 volt plug-in and then 2 USB ports that the bike came with. So I just hooked it up to a 12 volt because I probably won't use that, and just powered it off of that.
Ooh, nice.
So I guess that's a bit of a DIY there.
So do you have a transducer for the Helix 7, or you're strictly using that for mapping and that's it?
So it came with a boat transducer. Yep. I'll be honest, I'm not going to run that one with a transducer. I'm strictly going to use it for mapping.
Gotcha.
I picked up the live scope last year, and I don't leave home without that fixed.
Yeah. See,
dang.
The next level, and I've seen guys run it here, is they've got a pole on their quad so they can run and gun with the live scope. Punch a hole, drop the pole right down, look around, see what's going on. If they like what they see, they stay or do whatever, and if they don't, they're off. Yeah, that'll be next level mobile then at that point.
For sure, and that's awesome. Honestly, as you guys know, I believe, Brett, you have the Panoptics. It's not a small unit.
No, no, not at all.
So
especially the live scope, it's even bigger.
And for what they cost, I just don't feel comfortable mounting it to the ATV and letting it get exposed, right?
Yep.
Those are not cheap.
Yep. No, I hear you. See, I was thinking maybe when I asked about the transducer, are you familiar with who Dave Gens is, Jesse?
Yes, of course.
So I've seen on his sled, he runs this motorized transducer cord reel. And so he pulls up to a spot, punches a hole, and then he drops the transducer down, fishes it. If he doesn't see what he wants, he's out of there. But he just uses his Helix or whatever he has mounted on the sled. But it always cracks me up when the camera pans to the little whatever. I know it's some sort of product. I can't think of what it's called, but it just like drops it right down and brings it back up. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that guy's a legend, and he has the ultimate ice mobile, if you want to call it that. Yeah. It's basically a bass boat for ice, right?
Yep.
I have seen that product you're talking about. I cannot think of the name of it off the top of my head, but that is pretty slick. And maybe in the future, to be honest, I might possibly run a transducer off it just to check spots. Yep. It would make a lot more sense. But again, I've dumped quite a bit of money this year, so I got to be careful.
Well, yeah,
that I don't get too much
you went live scope and quad. Holy crap!
So
The live scope was last year, to be fair.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, running live
Yeah.
scope a season. What's your thoughts on it? Because I'm kind of where you were at probably the year before, where it's like, all right, do you make the jump into that, and then if that's the case, what do you look forward to the next year? Because live scope's been around for so long, 3, 4 years now, probably.
Yeah.
Until they come out with Gen 2 or whatever of live scope,
Yeah.
everyone's pretty much leveling up to the same kind of
Yeah, I
live
don't know.
scope feel.
I don't ever need. I feel like I don't have that urge to say, hey, I need to look forward to purchase something next
Oh,
year.
man.
What I look forward to is getting better with what I have, like being extremely efficient and understanding exactly what I've got going on, rather than just buying new things all the time.
Yeah, I gotta have something new every year.
I'll let Jesse chime in on his feelings on that also.
What do you think, Jesse?
No, for sure. I totally agree with you with the whole getting to know your unit. There's so much that thing can do, and I probably haven't even tapped into an eighth of it. Reason why I got it, to be honest, I was running an M3 before that, and I had a bit of trouble with it.
Big time upgrade.
It crapped out on me. Yeah. I'll be honest. Back when I was looking for it, I was just gonna get a Helix 7 ice bundle, and to be honest, no one had them in stock. And I said to the wife, I was actually going out on a trip in a couple days, and I said I need something. Like I can't go out with no electronics at all. It's not the same. You don't even know what you're doing down there if you don't have electronics. I recommend anyone new, even buy something used. It makes it that much more enjoyable. But anyway, I couldn't find anything, and then I was talking to the wife, and I told her I really wanted the live scope, but again, it was quite expensive.
Yeah, how much is that in
And
Canada? How much is that in Canadian?
Double what it is here.
It's both your legs and one arm.
2 legs and an arm.
See, it's only 2 legs here.
Mm-hmm. You'll be all
No,
right.
to be honest, I think back then with everything I also at the time I purchased a 18 amp lithium battery with it as well.
Yep. That's the way
If
to
I'm
do
gonna
it.
get it, I'm just gonna get it. But yeah, I think I paid around $4,500.
That's Canadian, remember, also, if you're listening.
Yeah, so really that's only like $200 for you guys.
Yeah, super
perfect.
cheap.
Man, I need to start buying
Yeah.
our stuff in Canada.
No, but again, no one had anything in stock, and I just thought, even if I found a Helix, I still wanted the live scope, and I would probably end up getting it this year anyway, right?
Yep.
So I just sort of bit the bullet and said, you know what, let me just save my money, and I guess I just did them in reverse.
I'm curious,
But,
buying that, what are some of your go-to, I guess, outdoor stores up in that direction? Like, we have, like, Cabela's and Shields, or, frankly, Walmart is a fairly popular one also, but that sort of deal. I know there's, like, Canadian Tire, but that's about the only one
Princess
I've ever heard
Auto.
of.
Yeah, to be honest, Canadian Tire is not the best tackle store. They're quite pricey. For some reason, and they don't have the best selection up here. If you're up north, I think it's a little better where they don't have as many outdoor stores. But where I am, we have quite a few. We have a local shop, Gagnon Sports. I go there quite a bit. Actually, I'm not really. No, I go there quite a bit. I know the owners and everything. They're great guys over there. We also have another Canadian company called Sale. They're pretty good. But for electronics, we have a place down in Toronto called Radio World.
What?
They're basically the go-to.
No, it's not.
Radio Shack?
No, Radio World. Radio World.
It's hilarious.
Oh, that's great. The old
That's
Radio
where you
World.
bought your
Those
pet
guys-
optics, was from a store called Radio World?
I did, yes.
Really? Interesting.
But no, to be honest, those
That's like going to Best
guys
Buy.
over there are really good. They know their stuff, and they have guys specifically for brands of units in there, and they're basically specialists on Hummingbird or Lowrance or Garmin, right? So if you have an issue, you go in, you talk to them, they sort you right out. That's all they sort of sell.
See,
Stuff
there's
like
another
that.
hot tip, because I would have drove right past Radio World if I was looking for anything electronic related, or
Yeah, no, they're
ice fishing electronic related anyways.
no, they're the guys to go to, honestly.
Interesting.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, all this talk about ice fishing, Jesse, a little bit, if you can touch on just what got you started into ice fishing. Maybe did you start when you were growing up? Did you pick it up recently? Kind of what got you into the sport, and then what keeps you coming back?
For sure. I think like probably 90% of the people who ice fish, I fell in love with it after watching Grumpy Old Men.
Oh yeah, heck yes.
That's I got to be honest. I watched that movie. I don't know how old I was, but I saw that, and I just fell in love with the whole the hut community on the ice. Right, everyone had their own shack, and I just thought that was just so amazing. And again, you don't see stuff like that up here, right? The ice doesn't get thick enough, or there's not a lot of guys doing permanent shacks like that. But I fell in love with that back then. Growing up, I actually lived on Lake Erie, and I didn't have a ton of friends that were into ice fishing, but it's always sort of been there. I've always had this love for ice fishing for some reason. Fishing in general, my grandfather got me into it, but ice fishing just, there's something about it I just fell in love with from a young age. So I did it periodically throughout my younger age, found some buddies, we'd go out here and there. And then growing up, I kind of got out of it, moved, grew up, bought a house, and priorities just kind of took over. But I actually I really got back into fishing once I sort of settled down after a couple of years in the house, and I started bass fishing quite a bit and went out and I was doing some local tournaments and stuff like that. And then I just kind of, that scene grew just a little old for me. I kind of lost interest in it, and I got right back into ice fishing. And actually a good buddy of mine, James Persino, he's a member on the page too. He's actually who I started the group with. But I ran into, my mom still lives out by Lake Erie, and I was going out to visit her, and I messaged him. I said, hey, like, is there any good spots to go ice fishing? And he's like, actually, I'm going out tomorrow if you want to meet me. And back then I just had a little Costco. That's sort of our big box store out here. I think for you, like Sam's Club kind of thing.
No, we got Costco's too. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I just had a cheap little $150. They call it a 4-man. 2 was tight. Hut.
Yep.
Not insulated, nothing. I've chased that thing down, I don't know how many canals and lakes, and I got some stories about that. But to be honest with you, I really don't have too much bad to say about it. It got me through. And I think I gave it to a buddy of mine, and he's still running that today.
Ooh, nice.
But yeah, I went out with him. We fished that day. He had a pop-up and an auger and all this stuff. I don't even know what I was thinking. I didn't even have an auger to go out. Thank God he did.
Run axe.
But yeah, after that day, and that was late in the season too. I think that was in March, so it kind of died off. But I just had a blast that day, and I came home, and it's been full steam ahead ever since then. And I just every year I just upgrade and keep trying to learn and get better. And yeah, I'm absolutely addicted to ice fishing. There's just something about it for me. Yeah.
Oh, so you're an ice-aholic. I get it now.
Yeah, that's
you
where the name came from.
You could definitely say that.
That's awesome. Jesse, what does a typical ice outing for you look like? Who are you taking out there? What's your go-to? Are you going out after work at night? Are you planning weekend trips or like a week at a time? What's that look like in the winter?
For the most part, again, with work, it's hard to get out during the week. I have a couple lakes around my house I try to sneak out to, or if I'm working within the area, I have a glide light as well, so I'll throw a couple rods in and a bucket, and I'll tow the glide light out, and I'll squeeze in a couple hours after work here and there if I can. But for the most part, it's weekend trips, mainly with my buddy Jamie, and again, I have a buddy Liam out in Belleville, which is Bay of Quinte. And we spend a lot of time on Bay of Quinte, and for the main reason that at any given time you can get a double-digit walleye out there.
Ooh.
So we're constantly on that chase to get that double-digit. We've had great days out there. You'll also get humbled very quickly out there too. I've probably had more days of that than success, but there is always that chance. So we spend a lot of time on the Bay of Quinte.
Interesting. Yeah, Brett's looking that up because I'm not.
Yeah,
we're not real familiar
Erie,
with
isn't
that.
it?
It's just off. It's connected to Lake Ontario.
Oh, Ontario.
Yeah.
What the heck is that? Oh, right there. I was looking out Ontario, actually.
You're looking down in Mexico.
I was
Brett.
off
Go
on where I
north.
was at.
The wrong Ontario.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Have you?
But no, we spent.
Go ahead, Jesse. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, we spent a lot of time out there. Again, just chasing that double digit. We all want one so bad, right?
Because here in the
we've
U.S.,
been very close.
Erie is it for big Mag Dog walleyes
Right.
on the south side of Erie. But it's interesting. I don't ever hear much around Lake Ontario, but it's also, I guess mostly New York on our side.
Yes, on that side. Again, for us, like Lake Ontario doesn't really freeze up very well. So the Bay of Quinte is, again, it's attached to Lake Ontario, but it's somewhat covered. So that's the one that I was saying is kind of inconsistent. It's got quite a bit of current, and you got to know what you're doing to go out there. But every chance we get when we know there's safe ice, we're out there, and the deeper we can get, the better we find, water depth wise.
Well, so if you got sketchy ice, a common thing here is to run fan boats. Do you guys ever try to do that?
Run what? Sorry.
A fan boat.
Yeah, airboat, hovercrafts, that kind of deal.
Yes, no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know anyone who has one. If anyone has one and wants to take me out on some sketchy ice, I'll be ready to go.
Because that's the deal, especially here on the Mississippi and Iowa. Ben has a little more experience at that than I do, but because the main channel never freezes up, but you got all those backwaters that'll freeze up, and really the only way to get there is either fan boat, and even in the backwaters are a little sketchy back there until you get on good ice, but and it's highly variable. Fan boat, or you could run a boat and then put your quad on the boat, take the boat over there, then jump off on some ice. But and that's maybe what we'll try to do this winter. But
that sounds pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, also extremely dangerous.
We're gonna take extra guys with
sure.
us in case we lose some. Then someone will still be able to do the show from out there
And catch some fish.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that'll be pretty cool. Yeah, no, just looking at the map where you're at, Jesse, a lot of people think, all right, Southern Ontario, you're golden. Like, that's Canada. You're going to be out ice fishing from November until April.
No.
And that's, like what you're saying, you get some pretty variable ice just based on, so at the latitude that you're at longitude, whatever that is.
It's like northern Iowa.
Yeah, you're like pretty close to the level where we're at, where our ice season might be, end of December through, late February, where you're pretty solid. Does that sound about right?
Right. Yeah. To be honest, that's if we're lucky. Last year, I think the earliest I got out, it was December 26th, and we had to hunt for that ice.
Yep.
Like not everywhere. I remember my buddy and I were just driving around. We knew somewhere would be frozen, and we were on one main highway, and lakes were wide open, and we turned down another side street, and we have a ton of water around us.
Oh yeah.
And every lake on that street had at least 6 to 8 inches on it. So, but that was the earliest we've gotten out. So yeah, right around end of December, and then I'll say we hold on to it a little longer. It can usually get out about middle of March if we're lucky.
Yeah, we don't usually make that.
Sweet.
End of February usually we're done.
Yep.
Well, we could push it maybe, but I don't know. I'm never into pushing it at the end.
20 inches of honeycombed ice trying to float out there with your spud bar.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Jesse, do you get the wife involved at all in your ice fishing hobby, or is she pretty much holding down the fort at home while you're out hunting around?
No. She doesn't come out every time, but honestly, she enjoys it. I wouldn't say as much as I do. But she's always down to come out, and to be honest, sometimes I don't bring her because she always seems to outfish me. No, she loves it though. She does. She's a huge supporter of the page as well too, and everything I do. Honestly, I got to thank her. But we get out, and yeah, like I said, she 9 times out of 10 she's out fishing me. Even if we're just go to a local lake and fishing for some panfish, and never seems to fail. But I'm happy for her when she gets out and catches fish, because I don't think she'd enjoy it as much if we weren't on fish.
Well, see, it's
right?
It's advantageous for her to catch a lot of them anyways, because if she wasn't having a good time, then no one's having a good time. And
exactly,
if she's having a good time, then that's more green lights for buying more ice fishing stuff.
Well, then it's easier to explain why we need it.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Right.
This is why we need the quad, so we're not hoofing it across this
Yep.
lake.
Oh yeah, I got a lot of shit for buying that Panoptics. Well, I didn't tell Becca how much it was until she saw me throw the box away, and she saw the price tag on it still. But then I took her out for Valentine's Day, and she could see everything working underneath the ice, and she's like, "Yep, all right, this is worth it.
Yep.
Yep. Then we caught a bullhead. It bit my finger.
Nice.
It's all
Nice.
worth it then.
Oh, that sucker.
The bullhead
Oh,
bite.
my finger was bleeding. It bit me so hard, it was bleeding underneath my nail. Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Jeez.
What a deal. So,
Yeah, that's why the quad wasn't too hard of a sell, though. She's not a fan of walking out, especially when we're, like, chasing them and we got to get deeper.
See, that's where you maybe you sold yourself short. You should have went side by side.
So reason for that, again, my garage is only so big, and I like to store my stuff. I don't like paying for storage.
Yep.
And the boat's in there as well, and it eats up quite a bit of space. So that's the reason for the quad. But
Yep.
we did get a 2-up quad though.
I'm right in line.
nice.
I'm right in line with you on if I own it, it needs to be under a shed.
yep.
And I'm not going to pay for storage either.
Do you know any good contractors
Yeah,
in
I
that
refuse
area,
to.
Jesse? You could get them to build you a bigger garage. Is there anybody that could help you with that?
I've thought about it, but my property's only so big, so
Yeah.
I don't think the city will let me do that. I've thought about it though.
Man, it's always a question of more space, more room for stuff. You fill up stuff so fast. It's crazy how that works. So Brett and I are in the same boat for sure.
Yep.
Trying
My
to figure
problem is kid stuff's taking over.
Yeah.
It's eating up all my space for my other things.
Yep. So Jesse wanted to talk a
Yeah,
little bit.
I'm
No, go ahead, Jesse. Didn't mean to cut you off.
no,
there,
I
buddy.
was just saying I'm rapidly running out of room.
Yep.
So
Yep. Well, maybe a little bit bigger properties in your future then.
that's we that might be in the plan.
Got to feed that ice fishing habit.
That's right.
Yep. Well, wanted to pivot a little bit and just talk about how you found out about the short rod show, because I think that's a pretty cool story. I can't remember when I joined Ice-aholics. It was a little while ago, but like I said, just looking through your page and seeing all the cool ideas really inspired me on a few different projects to just go all in and figure out, oh, this guy made this work. I bet I can do that too. But how did you get on the short rod show train and follow along with us?
Yeah, for sure. So I believe it was about 3 years ago. Again, I was just getting into ice fishing. But that's how long you guys have been doing the show, correct?
Yep. You got it.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So yeah, I was just starting to heavily get into ice fishing, and honestly, I probably listened to my playlist, I don't know, 10,000 times over. So I was just sick of that, and I wasn't even big into podcasts at the time. And I was just searching one day on my way to work for something to listen to. And I was like, I wonder if there's any shows about ice fishing. If I'm not fishing, I'm watching YouTube videos, or I'm reading, or I'm doing something fishing related. I'm always trying to learn, or at least get ideas or whatever. So I was like, hey, let me see if there's anything ice fishing related. So to be honest, I found another show, the Hard Water Show, before you guys. It just popped up. I said, oh, let me check them out. And then through that, your show came up, and I believe you were halfway through your first season.
Yep.
And I listened to your episode. I was like, wow, this is exactly what I was looking for. I went back, I listened to all the other episodes, and I honestly have not missed one since.
I'm really glad to hear you say that was exactly what you're listening for, because when I go back to listen to those season 1 episodes, I can't even listen to them. They make me cringe so bad.
We're definitely getting into the groove on it, because we're just two average dudes, recording in
my
the
basement at that time. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm sure you heard the furnace kick on a few times in the background.
And learning how it goes. But the short rod show, like we're really trying to go after the common ice fisherman. That's really what we're about. We're not about, pushing products and figuring out commercializing everything. We're just here to tell it like it is. We're two dudes that, want to sit around and talk about ice fishing, how we do it. And if other people have comments on that, shoot them at us.
And we're not a bunch
Let
of
us
old
know.
farts like the hard water guys.
Yeah, there you go. They're like that. But everyone does it differently, and that's what's cool about it. So,
for sure. And again, that's why I'm such a big fan. I think what you guys are doing over there and what we're trying to do on the page is very in line with each other, and that's why I've been a big fan since day one. And I try to support you guys any way I can, just because I really appreciate and like what you guys are doing over there. You run a great show, honestly, and thank you guys for that.
And
it keeps me more entertained every Monday. I know you guys drop them on Sunday, but I save them for my Monday.
Oh yeah,
drive to work.
we could tell when Everybody listens to them on Monday on their way to work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Blows up.
It's the
pretty
thing
cool.
to do.
It goes from like,
And I wait all year. I cannot wait. I'm like, 'cause I start getting pumped for ice. Oh, I'm serious. I start getting pumped for ice in probably September. I was talking to you guys the other day and told you that.
so
And for a number of reasons, again, I'll pull everything out, go over everything, check it. But I like doing that when it's warm out.
Yep.
It sucks working on stuff outside when it's cold.
So you're the
and
reason
not
we
only that, I
start
just
trending in Canada. That's why. We start charting on Apple Podcasts in Canada
In September.
In September.
That's it. You're saying I'm the reason.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah.
Good. I hope so. But yeah, no, I start getting that itch back then. So I cannot wait till you guys drop your episodes. It's something I look forward to every year since
Awesome.
I found the show. So.
And we look forward to
And now,
doing them
to
also.
be honest, it's such an honor. Like I said, I longtime fan. So to be a guest, this is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. And thank you for having me on again.
Sweet. No, I
Absolutely.
really
And-
appreciate you coming on.
And that's what's so cool. Like we never thought that two guys talking in their basement in Iowa about ice fishing would be anything relevant to a guy up in Ontario ice fishing Lake Simcoe for jumbo perch. Like that's super cool.
That's
Just
like
the
destination
connection there.
lake stuff, and we're
Yeah.
fishing ponds.
That's
in
like
town.
dream trip for us.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So yeah, we appreciate all that you do for the Facebook group page, Jesse, and just moderating that. Man, you got a huge task
Yeah.
on your hands.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
actually
it's
that's when I
far
first
away.
remember Jesse reaching out, and I was like, yeah, he's like Butters off of South Park.
Yeah.
Weeding through all the crap on the internet.
I remember that episode. That was super cool for the shout out. I remember I was at work listening, and that blew me right away to get the shout out from you guys. I was not expecting that, but I was cracking up pretty good about that just because of how accurate it was. And again, people have no idea, right? I think a lot of people just think the page runs itself, and I don't know, maybe people think we're making money off it, and that's why we do it. And let me tell you, everything to do with the page, we've done nothing but just put money in to help give back to people and doing giveaways and stuff like that. Like I always joke with people, but I have one sponsor, and that's the wife, and that's the only money I'm
There you
making.
go.
So.
Yep.
That's great.
You nailed the segue here, Jesse, to roll right into the giveaway.
Perfect. So yeah, awesome teaming up with you guys. So you guys have a clam float jacket to give away, ice armor, I believe.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, I have that Black Betty tricked out reel.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that
yeah.
reel, because we didn't share all the details on it.
Well, I've honestly never even heard of it. I didn't even know that they made such a thing.
Yeah, so I didn't personally trick it out. It's just a limited edition. I'm pretty sure they only dropped so many of them, and yeah, it's pretty tricked out. I don't have it here with me, unfortunately. It's downstairs, but it's the picture of it's on our on your page and mine as well. But yeah, it's pretty tricked out. Cork handles and red reel and black. I think there's some carbon fiber on it. The thing's pretty killer. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that is a sick
But
looking
yeah,
reel.
so yeah, one lucky guy's gonna win that. And it's nice that we're doing the giveaway now, so that we can get it out to them before ice season starts. So hopefully that helps someone kicks off their season for them.
Yeah, that's really kind of what my thought was too, was try to kick it out early. That way, if you're still looking for something or wanting to buy something, you still have time if you were waiting to win this. Or if you do win it, then you didn't go out and buy it already.
Yep.
Something like that. So I
Right.
thought that'd be a good deal. Good timing anyways to get after it. But so here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull her up on my phone, just kind of a random generator deal. I've got, how many people ended up? I think I got 75. People did everything to enter in at least once. We got at least, 20 or so new YouTube subscribers. And I don't know. I don't have a good way to find out how many people followed us and you guys, but I'm sure the majority of these people were already following both of us anyways. But
right, and yeah, we can check too if they're following the pages as well.
Yep. So here we're gonna flip for. Should we do the jacket first? Let's do the jacket here first.
Sure.
So for the Clam Rise float suit jacket, we have Craig Siegman, I believe is his name. And we'll tag you on Facebook or whatever. We'll try to track you down as the best we can and get you after that.
Yeah, congratulations, Craig. That'll
Yeah.
be cool.
Awesome.
Hopefully,
Congrats.
hopefully you'll enjoy it. The clam ice armor, definitely a staple on the ice.
Yeah, keep you warm.
Keep you warm, keep you floating. Absolutely. Congratulations.
If there's one thing I suggest people buy, it's definitely a form of safety, and that's definitely key. That jacket's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for the reel, so the Black Betty tricked out.
Trick shop.
Trick shop. I keep saying tricked out. It's trick shop.
Do we do a drum roll?
We have Rigdon Banks is the guy
Rigdon.
who won the reel.
Nice.
Congratulations. Dang. He's going to be the talk of the
I
town.
really hope I didn't butcher any of those names.
Wherever old Rigdon's
He,
at.
he,
Awesome.
he might need to get a new rod to go along with that.
Yeah,
I would.
Yeah, that'll fit on a schoolie, though.
I don't know. It'd look good on a schoolie.
It might be, yeah, it'd be killer on a schoolie as well, for sure.
Congratulations, guys. That's awesome. Thanks for participating, Jesse. That's super cool to help out with that, and like I said, just give back to some of our fans and give them something cool.
Yeah, and I really appreciate everybody just entering in, and I mean, it kind of gives you a real idea of what your reach looks like, and it's pretty impressive how far that made it out.
Yeah, and no problem. And thank you guys as well. It was great doing that together. I'm pretty sure it generated some traffic your way, and as well as ours, for sure. It was awesome.
Yep. And then lastly, here
absolutely.
before we wrap it up, Jesse, you had one more thing you wanted to add for a couple kids or a kid if they wanted to win something here.
Yeah, just a small little bonus. So we had partnered up with a local tackle shop last year, and they gave us some boxes of tackle to give away. I think in each box it's over $100 worth of tackle. Honestly, some quality gear. There's some Euro tackle, some jig and wraps, some live target stuff, some
Dang, I got a
crappy
kid.
plastic.
I got two kids.
It's a pretty loaded box, so I found I had one left. So what I'm going to do is if you're a member of Ice-aholics, get over there and message me. If you're not, get on the page. But, if you know of a child in need, maybe he or she is just getting into the sport or unfortunately lost their gear, someone stole it, or whatever the case may be. Let's hope that's not happening out there. But if you know a child in need who could use the gear, head over to Ice-aholics, DM me personally, Jesse Willick at Ice-aholics, and let me know your story. And I'll go through all the entries. I'll pick someone who I think deserves it, and we'll get that shipped out to them. And hopefully they can put that to use this year.
Sweet. That'll be super cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, Jesse. Good deal.
Post some pictures of what's in that
Yeah.
box.
I will make a post tonight. I'll spread it all out, and I'll put it up for sure.
Yeah, that's cool.
Sweet.
Awesome. Yeah, great way to support the sport. Just we want to keep people involved and keep people going in the sport, learning new stuff.
Well, it's just like anything. The
Yep.
young kids are the future of it anyways.
Yep. And Brett and I started
Exactly.
with a hand crank auger and the base model schoolie plastics, the schoolie jigs.
The jig that came with the reel, yeah.
Yeah.
Or with the rod.
You got to start somewhere. So just having a little jump start,
Yep.
somebody that's got some good gear.
Geez, I wouldn't have
Help
even
you get out
known
there.
what to do with anything Euro tackle.
Euro tackle,
Yeah, I would've-
sweet.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known.
Live target,
I wouldn't have known what
Oh
was
my
going on
gosh.
with that.
the big time.
Or jig and wrap. I would have been like, what the heck do I do with this?
I still don't know what to do with half.
That's great.
I just think it looks cool and even better in the tackle box.
Exactly. Yeah.
Catches
that's
the
half of
fisherman.
it. Yeah, it looks good in
Absolutely.
the tackle box.
Absolutely. Well, anything else, Jesse, before we get wrapped up here for this episode?
No. Again, I just really want to thank you guys for having me on. This was honestly awesome, and congratulations to the winners, Craig and Rigdon. Hopefully they're happy about that. And like I said, if you're not a member of our group, get over and check it out. Ice-aholics on Facebook, and for anyone who's also not a member of your guys' page, get over and check you guys out too. You're really pumping out some quality content. So if they're not already a member, they're missing out.
Sweet. That's awesome, man. Thanks so much for joining us. That was a great time. Always like to get together, chat ice fishing with you. So hopefully we'll get up that way sometime soon.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be cool.
That would be
get on a
awesome.
little ice with you.
You got me pumped up for perch.
Yeah, no kidding.
If you're ever out this way, well, we might want to go chase some of those double-digit walleye too. That's a
Ooh.
blast.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, double-digit
And
walleye.
I'm pretty.
If you
I'm
want
pretty
something
known to
that's going to
be
go
the,
viral on the internet, it's going to be catch a double-digit walleye on a 14-inch schoolie rod.
40-inch.
14. No,
That-
the
14.
littler the
That would be
better.
pretty cool.
The littler the better.
There you go.
That would be pretty
I can
cool.
see it now.
Also, I'm pretty much known to be the cook on the ice up here, so I make
Ooh.
some pretty killer meals out there.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
That might be a whole
So
nother
yeah,
episode.
if you guys ever get up, you got my number. Hit me up, and we'll definitely get together.
Sweet.
That's
Sounds
awesome.
good.
Good deal. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. We had a great time today on today's episode as usual. We'll be back next week on
The Short Rod Show.